Hello and welcome to Who Does Rolls. I am your host Mike B, and here we are, another week of mumbo jumbly goodness of board game shenanigans. How are you? How are you doing? You hanging in there? Life treating you good? Carnage is everywhere. You know, there's shortages of everything. You know, what can you do? It's the chaos, anarchy. But you know, you got to fight through it. Got to keep going. That's what we've got. Board games to keep us going, so we should focus on that. Hello to all the new subscribers. We're nearly at 400, I believe, subscribers, which is indefatigable. That's a good word. I don't know if it's really good for what I'm talking about at the moment, but it's a damned good word. It's just unfathomable. That's a good word. And I said it. What's going on? I mean, we're actually almost into big numbers. Amazing. Well, welcome anyway, all of you. If you're going to hang around here for a while, if you're staying, then great. Good to see you. If you're a fly by night, then well, fuck you. Then off you go. Get out. Nothing more to see here. So anyway, we'll crack on. It's been a week. I'm refilming this because this fuzzy bit fell off my microphone in the last filming, and it's shit. So I'm doing this again, which is nice. So we might as well do it again. I'll patter through this. Some stuff's changed. I might even throw some more stuff in. I might, just the rules are off the table. It's literally a wild west here. So we'll crack on and we'll see how we do. So with that in mind, let's go over what was played recently by me. Played. So not a lot. Friday last, I had my work leaving due from the Sainsbury's. So I met my colleagues there at a local hostelry, and we were going to have a few beers and just have a bit of a chuckle, as you do. And we did that. Now, one of said members brought along a card game called Ring of Fire, which I had no prior dealing with. It is a drinking game. And it did not go well. There was many fatalities. To be fair, I was one of the last men standing on that one. But yeah, don't do it, is what I'll say to you. It involves pulling cards, and there's basically drinking forfeits on the cards, and you assign people as your buddy, and they're there to drink if you drink, and it was messy. Yes, it wasn't good. So there's word of warning there. Don't do mini drinking. Don't know bad. But there was that happened. We played, I think on the weekend last, I got to play Tapestry again. There was much conjecture over what we were going to play. Dinosaur Island is something that Robbie wants to play. He keeps bringing it up. I actually bought the box off the shelf, and then I had to get the expansion box because it's split across both boxes. And I literally couldn't be bothered to play it because it was just like, oh god, there's all this. I can't remember what modules were in here, what's in what box. So we didn't do that. But we looked at the box; it was very nice. It's still lovely dinosaur shaped box. And so we played Tapestry again, and I absolutely creamed everyone else using I think Treasure Hunters. I think they were. Yeah, I did very well at Tapestry. I don't know what it is about Tapestry. It is one I should review it. I will review it soon. It's just the alchemy of what it's doing. The process is what it's doing. Just tickles whatever up here that I enjoy. Gets really off of it. Gets a good rooting off of that. And I just love it. It's kind of a crack like buzz for me, and I don't know what it is, but something about that process and what it's doing. It's very simplistic to a point, and it's not a Civ game. We've covered all this already. It's just this engine building game, but something about that really just kind of cradles my face and just gives me a smooth, maybe a thumb in the arse, just for pleasure. But yeah, Tapestry, and then we played some Mizukana, which again, Tom Lehman, guy who did Race to the Galaxy. It's again another kind of engine builder. You start with a very shrunk down deck. You only have 8 cards in your deck, which we draft at the start of our games, and you're essentially again building an engine out of those very limited amount of cards and the stuff you gain and to hit 10 points. Very simple, very straightforward. I just like the economy of that little deck of cards and how you've got to try and work that to the best. And it either works or it doesn't. But it's fun. I like it. It's quick. Get to the table. Rules light. There's another expansion on the way. I've got one of the expansions for it, and it's really. I think it's a sleeper for me. It's one of those that maybe it's just under the radar of really a great little game. It's not a massive box. I'm looking at it. It's all the way over there on the table. I could reach across and get it. But that'd be terribly unprofessional. I'm going to do it anyway. Yeah, so it's gone. Like that. Tiny little box. Look at that. Lovely. Everything fits in there. Nice insert. Really good game. Very strongly recommended if you're an engine builder fan of that sort of stuff. Love it. Really like it. I picked it up reasonably cheap as well. So if you can find it under sub 30 quid, you're laughing. So we played that. And that's it, really. Yes, that's it. That's all of it. The offside of this is the joy. So offside of playing Ring of Fire on Friday is I then go to work on the Monday, and I've actually walked all the way across Southampton to get to my new workplace at the hospital, only to get pinged on my phone for COVID when I reached there, because apparently Famey, who was at the pub with us on Friday night, has contracted COVID, and I got pinged because of that. I haven't got it. I've been tested. I'm fine, but that really cocked up my week. Thank you. Excellent. Well, first time I go out socially for about a year, and then that happens. Let's do some news. Here is the news. Tore off the press that isn't on my piece of paper, but I have seen it. Asmodee's up for sale for about $2 billion. So the guys who bought Asmodee are now trying to shift it. It's on the plus side. I mean, it shows that it's a very buoyant, cardboardy, board game related market. But yeah, here we go again. Is that going to sell? I don't know. No one seems to show any interest yet, but that's happening. That's kind of the news that shook the nation of late. But let's go into. So last week or the week before last was Gen Con. So there's lots of Gen Con-y shizzle that took place. I will give you an abbreviated highlights of stuff that jumped out at me. So the Warriors board game has been announced. I think it's coming from Funko. It won't have the little Funko mini dudes in it. It's from Prospero Hall, the design team behind many recent licensed games. So stuff like Jaws, the Back to the Future game, and I think they did Die Hard. I mean, they're doing tons of stuff. They also seem to be really mining into the 80s sort of cool thing. Goonies they just recently did. And on the whole, they're putting out pretty solid little games. And they're not too expensive, and they're pretty good use of the license. And Warriors is a thing I've seen for years, but the idea is it's kind of I say post-apocalyptic, it's not really. It's set in New York, and gang warfare, and it's all big glam rock, I think, now, in comparison to what it was at the time. It was I remember at the time it coming out, it was like, oh, grim, gritty, not so much now. But yeah, I maybe need to watch it again. But yeah, cool, I'm on board for a Warriors board game. What we need is them to get hold of some more licenses. No, Karate Kid, if they do that, and I'm laughing because I can get Erin Dawes to play that because she's obsessed with Karate Kid. So here's hoping. They haven't minded that. I haven't seen anything with Karate Kid yet. And I'm hoping they get hold of some other 80s gems, maybe something like Ghostbusters, because we really need a decent Ghostbusters board game. Because the other stuff that came out was not that great. And actually, thinking about it, I believe the IDW, I think, did Ghostbusters have subsequently. So then the license might be up for grabs. So Prospero Hall, get Ghostbusters, do me a decent Ghostbusters board game. I'd be very happy with that. Thank you very fucking much. Oh yeah, the other thing that was came out from Prospero Hall involved in, and I think this is from Ravensburger, is a Jurassic World Legacy board game. They only teased with this one image of a plastic T-Rex. But interested to see what that's going to be all about, possibly. There was Horrified. There was also, I think, is another one of theirs actually, which is Horrified American Monsters, which is a reskin of sorts of Horrified, which added Universal Monsters. This is more folky monsters, things like Bigfoot and stuff. I like that kind of folk level monster horror thing going on. So kind of interested in that. Maybe. And in amongst this, skipping out of Gen Con briefly, news just announced the last couple of days was Free League Publishing are doing a Blade Runner RPG. They have hit it out of the park recently, won a load of Ennies for the Alien role-playing game, which is fantastic. book. It's absolutely gorgeous. I haven't actually played it yet, but I own the book and a couple of the adventure sets. At some point, I'm going to run a game at some point. But yeah, Blade Runner. I love Blade Runner. I will probably I will pick up, but just because aesthetically, I'm sure it's gorgeous, and just to have on my shelf even if I never get to play it. But that's kind of cool. GenCon news. Other GenCon news is FFG had a bunch of stuff to say for themselves, although because of the in-flight report, there was no new games announced during that. However, there was a couple of little things that piqued my interest. So Descent, or the Descent universe, has now been rebranded as Turn-Off Legends, and they've announced a cycle or small box expansion for Descent, Journeys in the Dark. I think that's what it's called. I always get it wrong. I played one game of Descent. I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was actually quite good. It is very expensive. But yeah, so this is a bit like the Imperial Salt release schedule, in that they seem to be doing a big box and then a little box that can be played alongside that scenarios and adventures of the first big box. So there's that. It's called something Ghosts of Greyhaven, I believe. But yeah, so obviously at the moment, way out of my price league at the moment. I'm kind of tightening the belt in regards to games, but okay, that's out there. They're doing stuff with it. There is also, they're doing a revamp of a lot of the LCGs. They're bringing out Lord of the Rings, a new starter set for the Lord of the Rings LCG, and they're also boxing together all the older cycles. So you can buy a box with all the original sort of individual cycles kind of matched into that one big saga packs sort of thing. They're doing that for that and Arkham Horror, I believe. So jumping off point if you're interested in that. I know Charlie is a big Arkham Horror LCG fan. I think he also played quite a bit of Lord of the Rings. It's just a bit of a cash cow that I'm kind of just no. I think I owned the Lord of the Rings one for a while and I quite enjoyed it, but I just sinking cash into something else. I'm like, I'm not going to play this enough. But yeah, they're kind of cool, and I'm sure he'll speak very highly about it as he likes them. But there you go, if you're interested, there's at least a slightly more cost-effective way of getting all the stuff that you can't previously get without going on eBay and spending a fucking fortune and a kidney. And the big one that came out was Outer Rim expansion, finally. Unfinished Business is the name of it, was rather apt. No more information other than the box front was released with Dengar on the front, and I think that's Ziza, who's the head of the criminal syndicate in the original N64 exclusive title, which I think was Shadows of the Empire. He turned up in that. He's not technically been canon, I believe, since, but clearly he's coming back into the fold. So yeah, that is kind of cool. Hopefully it's just more content. There's been a lot of discussion whether it should have Mandalorian content in it, which doesn't quite work because it's not in that timeline. Maybe we'll see something down the road for that, or standalone. Who knows? It's taken about 3 years to get this, but if it's got just more content, that's kind of what Outer Rim needed. It was great. It was good. I enjoyed it as a Firefly-ish pick up deliver Star Wars game, but the base set is really underwhelming in what it's got in it. And after about 3 to 4 plays, you've kind of seen everything. So it really needs that Forsaken Lore type expansion. Throw in a load of extra cards and stuff, just real meat on it. So hopefully that is what this does. We'll know more whenever we know more. I don't know what the release schedule is on it. It could either be Spiel, but I suspect it's going to be later in the year. Who knows? That's all they've teased at the moment. And next year is Twilight Imperium's 25th anniversary. So they've teased some comic books and some more stuff's coming for that. Who knows? Bit of TI. We're never going to have too much TI. Jolly good. So there's all of that. That's what's going on over there. Very nice too. Crowdfunding, Project Dark. Project Dark is a game that I mentioned a while ago. It's an RPG game. It is a roguelike stealth sort of. There's Blades in the Dark and another game. Very similar stuff. Came out at the same time. I think it's about the 8th year anniversary of this project. Hasn't seen any physical or rewards go out to backers. Will the go out another update, and basically it seems to follow a pattern of his updates, which is, look, I'm doing more stuff and I'm changing all the art design again. But that's it. So will we maybe we'll see the release of Project Dark in line with the 10th anniversary of the original Kickstarter, maybe possibly. We should check with the Mystic Eye. The Mystic Eye knows all. Mystic Eye, will we ever see Project Dark in any form into the real world? Whoa! Sounds promising. We may actually see Project Dark, according to the Mystic Eye. And then, no, we're gimmicky. us stuff. Who Dares Roll stuff, me stuff, things going on. So Charlie's got an Oath unboxing video that I've edited. I don't think it's out yet, so that'll be coming out pretty soon. Last week I released the Clank Legacy, Lost Legacy game. It was basically a bunch of old footage that I filmed over various months and then lost and then found again. So there's kind of a Clank Legacy review of sorts. And then I've got a Godfather review for the Eric Lang Godfather Call Many or Not game. It's an older game, but it's a good game. There's a review of that coming soon. We've discussed stuff that I should review soon. I need to do one of something else. Oh, I need to do one on Dreadful Circus. That's kind of cool, but it's good. Dreadful Circus is coming out of Spiel, but I need to get that banged together and put out, and some other stuff if I find time. Coming to time and me and stuff and things. So obviously I'm changed jobs. I'm now working at NHS. It is a lot of daytime, very thinky daytime hours. So it's cut down on my free time, which is why I find myself running in this weekend to try and film this to get this out. So there's that. With regards to that, I haven't been doing very much. We did watch Papillion. That's not Papillion. Papillion, fuck it. The remake of the Steve McQueen Dustin Hoffman prison thing movie. The original was great, 1970s. Really enjoyed it. Really kind of cool, bit grisly, but I really enjoyed that movie. Good couple of hours long. And this is a remake with Charlie Hunnam, I think it is, from Sons of Anarchy, and his name has escaped me. He played Freddie Mercury in the Queen biopic movie. Remy, it's gone. Anyway, he's very good, and he's great in it. It was all right, but frankly, if you've never seen either of the movies, go and watch the original, because it's definitely still a better movie. And if you've seen the original, probably just watch that again. I'm reading Still Aliens in the Charybdis is fantastic. I'm really enjoying that. They're from Alex White. He did the Cold Forge previously. Alien-based thing. It's really well done. I'm really enjoying where it's going. It's I won't say any more at the moment just because you're going to read it, but if you're in line or looking for a book, especially based on the Alien novel or series to do, then you can't go far wrong with Cold Forge. Was really good, and I'm really enjoying Aliens in the Charybdis. It's really good. And I watched the first episode of Why the Last Man, which I remember reading the comic books absolutely decades ago, it feels like now. And that was okay for the first episode. I'm wondering if it's going to deviate a bit from the original Vertigo comics, because they kind of went a bit wibbly wobbly in the kind of weirdity of Vertigo comics did. This one seems more sort of straight laced, but I'm interested to see where it goes, because it was some of the characters are definitely lined up. It's slower moving, I think, than the comic books were, but I'll be interested to see where that goes. And if you're in any way a fan of post-apocalyptic virus-ridden worlds, then you can go much less far wrong than looking at that. That's it, I think. That is us. That is the week and a bit of that. We're a bit late with this. Just deal with it, okay? Yeah, that's it. It was easy, wasn't it, really? It was quite painless. So if you're managing to venture out and you've got any fuel, then enjoy yourself. Obviously, you could just go to queue a pump for fuel and then go to another pump and queue for fuel and then buy some toilet roll, because I'm sure that'll be short soon. Just saying. Just get on that. Anyway, whilst we bask in the sunlit uplands of Brexit, might as well stay home and play some board games, which is probably what I'm going to do. Have a great week. I will be catching up again at some point, either in this week, next week, the week after, or the week before. Thanks for being on board. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Patronise us, could do worse. And that's it, really. Fuck it. Enjoy yourself. Have a good week. Play some games. I'm going to play some games tomorrow, I'm sure. That's it. That's me done. Have a great time, and I'll catch up with you all very soon. Until then, ta-ta.